Imagine this. You wake up one morning, grab your phone, and check your bank account. Suddenly, you see a loan in your name for thousands of dollars. But here's the twist, you never applied for it. Someone has been living as you, spending as you, and borrowing as you. This is not just identity theft. It is something more dangerous, something harder to detect. It is called synthetic identity fraud. And today, I am going to show you how to protect yourself before it is too late. Number 1. What exactly is synthetic identity fraud? Synthetic identity fraud is when criminals create a fake identity using a mix of real and fake information. Unlike regular identity theft, they do not steal your entire identity. They borrow pieces of it. For example, they may take your real social security number and combine it with a fake name, fake birthday, and fake address. Then they use this synthetic identity to open credit cards, apply for loans, and even buy cars. Imagine a puzzle. They take one real piece, your social security number, and then fill in the rest with fake puzzle pieces. At first glance, it looks like a complete picture, but in reality, it is built on lies. This is why it is so dangerous. Number 2. Why is synthetic identity fraud so dangerous? Regular identity theft usually gets caught fast. If someone uses your credit card to buy a new TV, you get an alert. But synthetic identity fraud works slowly. Criminals build credit profiles with their fake identity. They pay small bills on time, making the synthetic identity look trustworthy. Then, after months or years, they max out loans and disappear. Here is the scary part. Because the identity is partly fake, banks and credit bureaus often do not realize you are the victim. You may not even know until years later when debt collectors start calling. Think of it like termites in your house. You do not notice anything at first, but quietly, they are eating away at the foundation. By the time you see the damage, it is huge. Number 3. How do scammers get your information? You may wonder, if they need a real social security number, how do they get it? The answer is everywhere. Data breaches, phishing emails, and even stolen mail. Criminals especially like to target social security numbers of children and young adults because they are less likely to be checked. For example, a child's social security number could sit unused for 15 years. During that time, a criminal could build an entire fake life around it. Then, one day, that child applies for a student loan and finds out they already have thousands in debt. Number 4. Warning signs that you are a target. So how do you know if you are a victim of synthetic identity fraud? Here are some red flags. You start receiving mail or credit card offers in a name you do not recognize but addressed to your home. You get calls from debt collectors about accounts you never opened. You try to apply for credit, and the bank says you already have loans you know nothing about. You find accounts on your credit report that do not belong to you. One example, a woman in Texas went to buy her first car. The dealership ran her credit and told her she already had a car loan. But she had never owned a car before. Someone had been driving around with a loan in her name for years. Number 5. How to check your credit reports the smart way. The first step in protecting yourself is to regularly check your credit reports. In the USA, you are entitled to one free credit report every year from each of the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Here is a tip. Instead of checking all 3 at once, space them out. Check one report every 4 months. That way, you are monitoring your credit throughout the year without paying a dime. When reviewing, look for names, addresses, or accounts you do not recognize. Even a small error could be a sign of synthetic activity. Number 6. Why freezing your credit might be your best defense. A credit freeze blocks anyone from opening new accounts in your name without your permission. Even if a scammer has your social security number, they cannot use it to get credit if your file is frozen. Here is how it works. Imagine your credit profile is a locked safe. Freezing your credit adds an extra lock. If you need to apply for a loan, you can temporarily unfreeze it. The process is free and takes just minutes online. Many experts say freezing your credit is one of the most powerful tools to fight synthetic identity fraud. Number 7. The power of monitoring alerts. If freezing your credit feels too strict, the next best thing is credit monitoring. Many banks and apps now offer free alerts. For example, if a new credit card is opened in your name, you get an email or text. It is like having a security camera on your financial life. You cannot stop someone from trying, but you can see it happening in real time and act fast. Number 8. Be careful with your social security number. Your social security number is like the golden ticket for criminals. Treat it like gold. Do not carry your card in your wallet. Do not share it unless absolutely necessary. And if someone asks for it, always question why they need it. For example, a doctor's office may ask for your social security number, but in most cases, they do not really need it. You can say no. The fewer places your number is stored, the fewer chances it can be stolen. Number 9. Digital safety matters more than you think. Scammers love to use phishing emails and fake websites. You may get an email that looks like it is from your bank asking you to confirm your information, but the link takes you to a fake site where they steal your data. Always double-check the sender's email address. If something feels off, do not click. Go directly to the official website instead. Also, use strong passwords and two-factor authentication. For example, if your bank texts you a code each time you log in, a criminal cannot get in even if they know your password. Number 10. Protect your kids too. Children are often the easiest targets. Why? Because parents rarely check their child's credit report. One heartbreaking story: a family applied for financial aid for their teenager's college. But the application was denied because the student already had thousands of dollars in unpaid debt. A fraudster had been using the child's social security number since kindergarten. Check your child's credit history at least once. If a report exists, that is a red flag because minors should not have one. If you find suspicious activity, you can freeze their credit too. Number 11. What to do if you are a victim. If you discover synthetic identity fraud, do not panic. Take these steps immediately. First, contact the credit bureaus and request a freeze or fraud alert. This tells lenders to verify identities more carefully. Second, file a report with the Federal Trade Commission at identitytheft.gov. This creates an official record. Third, contact the financial institutions where the fraud occurred. Many banks have fraud departments that can help close fake accounts. And finally, file a police report. It may feel extreme, but having official documentation can help clear your name. One example: a man discovered someone had taken out multiple credit cards in his name. He filed all the reports, worked with his bank, and after months of effort, the debt was removed from his credit history. It was a battle, but he won. Number 12. Why ignoring this problem could cost you thousands. Synthetic identity fraud is not a small issue. The Federal Reserve once reported that banks lose billions of dollars each year from it. But here is the shocking part: the victims often pay the price too. If a scammer builds debt in your name, your credit score may drop by hundreds of points. That means higher interest rates, denied loans, and even trouble renting apartments or getting jobs. Think of your credit score like your financial reputation. Once damaged, it takes years to rebuild. That is why catching fraud early is so critical. Number 13. The secret weapon: awareness. At the end of the day, the best protection is awareness. Most people have never even heard of synthetic identity fraud. But now you have. And that knowledge puts you ahead of millions. Remember, criminals rely on you not paying attention. They hope you never check your credit. They hope you ignore strange mail. But once you know what to look for, you are harder to trick. Number 14. How scammers trick lenders with fake documents. Fraudsters often use fake pay stubs, utility bills, or driver's licenses to make their synthetic identity look real. For example, they may create a fake job with a fake employer phone number. When lenders call to verify employment, the scammer answers pretending to be HR. This makes the fake identity look legitimate and makes it harder for banks to detect fraud. Number 15. How synthetic fraud affects healthcare. It is not just about credit cards and loans. Scammers sometimes use synthetic identities to get medical services. Imagine someone uses a fake identity to receive surgery or prescriptions. The bills may eventually show up under your social security number. Worse, their medical records could get mixed with yours, leading to dangerous mistakes if you ever need care. Number 16. The role of credit piggybacking. Some scammers build synthetic identities by adding them as authorized users on real credit cards. For instance, they may buy access to a stranger's credit account. Suddenly, the fake identity has years of good credit history, making it easier to qualify for loans. This strategy is like borrowing someone else's reputation to boost a fake identity. Number 17. The international angle you did not expect. Synthetic identity fraud is not just a USA problem. Criminals in other countries often target American social security numbers. Why? Because USA credit systems are attractive and easy to exploit from afar. This means even if you never travel, scammers overseas may be quietly using your information to build a second identity. Number 18. Why children in foster care are prime targets. Sadly, kids in foster care are often the most at risk. Their social security numbers are handled by multiple agencies and caregivers, which increases the chance of leaks. Scammers know these kids may not check their credit until adulthood, giving them years to abuse the identity undetected. By the time they turn 18, some already have ruined credit before they even start their adult life. Number 19. How fraudsters bust out with big loans. The ultimate goal of many scammers is the bust out. They start small, building credit with a synthetic identity, paying bills on time, and looking responsible. Then, once they gain trust, they apply for big loans, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, and disappear without paying. It is like fattening a cow before the slaughter. They build up the credit, then cash out all at once. Number 20. The hidden cost to all of us. Even if you are never directly targeted, synthetic identity fraud costs everyone. Banks lose billions of dollars each year, and those losses are passed down in the form of higher interest rates, fees, and stricter rules for honest customers. In other words, the crime committed against one person makes life more expensive for everyone. Now let me ask you this. If a scammer tried to live a second life using your identity, how quickly would you notice? Let me know in the comments.